and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Howdy, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Because we are the most famous physical therapist on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Aren't you a dapper Dan today, Brad?
Well, Bob, you know, I'm thinking about something very exciting, but we're going to get through it pretty soon.
It has something to do with proven way to reduce stress as well as depression. These are based on two studies that Brad looked up, and fits right along with what we have found to be true in our lives.
And as well as therapists, we can concur that this is beneficial. So we're going to get to it in a little bit. But
if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free. We upload every day, and we do it enthusiastically. By the way, you're also going to want to join us on our social media channels because, once again, we are giving away the Pro Stretch Plus. This is a great unit for stretching before you go for any walks or anything like that.
Right.
Or runs. So, yeah. We have a video on it that we did on Sunday. But if you go to Bob and Brad, our website, we have a section called giveaways, and you can see we're giving away something every week.
Right.
So
you better believe it.
Our valuable advice, right, Brad?
There you go, Bob. Wow, that was a good throw.
Yeah.
Okay, so stress, you know, Bob, it's one of those things. I don't know if there's anybody that doesn't live without stress, although I think Bob is probably one of the most stress-less person.
No, but I do things to try to keep my stress level down, and what you're going to mention today, I do on a regular basis. Well, during the summer,
right?
Anyway.
I mean, Bob runs a business. We do this show, so he's got two businesses to run. He's got a family and children, and I don't know what else you.
Well, you got to deal with me.
Then we got to put up with
That's
each other.
That's why you have
stress. Well, anyways, everyone has stress, and then there's another thing that leads with stress, and that's this one study. The first study I'm going to talk about is rumination, and that's if you're not familiar with that term, it's when you think about things and you continue to. It's
probably like cyclical thinking. I mean, you just kind of get on the cycle of thinking about something and you can't get off of it.
You stew over it, and oftentimes it can be a negative thing. I can, 20 years ago when I went through a divorce, man, I had a lot of rumination going, and I used to exercise aggressively to get that out of my system so that I could relieve my stress. Worked really well. So what they did is Stanford did a study to see how you can reduce the ruminations, reduce your stress. Right. Okay. And they took a group of people, and 50% of them, they went on 90-minute hikes. The other 50% also went on 90-minute hikes. The difference was that one group went into the forest and walked on nature hikes.
Gotcha.
Okay, peaceful, calm, quiet.
Sure.
The other group were in an urban setting.
Sure.
And depending on where you live, you don't always have an option. But anyways,
and you're watching traffic and you're hearing sounds, and it's just,
so the results on this may not be surprising, but it's nice to get some science to prove, have some good solid proof. And what they did is afterwards they took MRI studies to see what's going on with the brain as well as questionnaires.
Gotcha.
And the bottom line was it's strongly supported that people who hiked in the calm, relaxing setting in nature
itself.
Yep. Had a big decrease in rumination. So
gotcha.
That part of your brain, that's part of stress, I should say, becomes less and less.
Right. If you can break that cycle,
right.
It really helps. So what? And then you had a second study too, right, Brad?
Right. This kind of related to it, not so much to the stress, but it's all related. Another group of Germans, this is in Europe, they studied the same thing, but they just looked at people hiking, and it happened to be in a rural area, hiking in the woods, in the forest, whatever. And what they found was that antioxidant defenses, the defenses in your body that reduce your risk for cancer, was a very positive thing. So it was
increased with those people that were hiking in the forest and the quiet atmosphere.
Right. So exactly. So the reason I have this hat on is because I went and purchased this hat, and one of the things I'm going to really use it for is when I go out and do my hiking. Or a lot of times, I live in a rural area myself, so I just walk down the road and back, and it's pretty much right there.
Right.
We can see nature and whatnot. So another thing is my wife works in dermatology, and she always says, get some sunscreen on or wear your hat. So a nice brimmed hat like this.
Yeah, you do, because I always hear these stories of the people that live down in Florida. A lot of the golfers down there, the top of their ears are lopped off.
Yeah.
Because they've had cancer and
Right,
they've had
right.
So
So if you're going to do your hiking, you're going to be outside, protect your head and get a nice pair of shoes. And we know the benefits of the cardiac and just the muscular strengthening, et cetera.
well, I'm going to just attest to this too again. So we have a cabin, and whenever it's nice and it starts getting nice, my wife and we walk 90 minutes to 2 hours in nature, and I can't tell you how much that just wipes out the week's stress without a problem.
Right.
I mean, I have no problems at all during those months. It's during the winter months that,
Well, if you could cross country ski and if we had consistent snow.
Yeah, that's the problem. though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
it
half
just-
the time there's snow and half the time it's ice and rain and blah,
exactly.
blah, blah.
So it just doesn't work.
And people that live in a larger city, like New York, they have the big park, Central Park.
Yep.
I know I have relatives that live in the Chicago area, and there's a lot of forest preserves throughout you can go to and walk and that kind of thing. So typically there's some place you can go to get that kind of atmosphere so you can get that stress relief
It's
you
the
need.
idea of meditating is the same thing, Brad. It's,
Mm-hmm.
you're concentrating on your breathing and it takes you out of the rumination. I mean, the idea is that you really are not thinking any thoughts at all.
Sure.
All you're thinking about is your breathing. And I've done some of that too, and that does
While you're
work.
hiking?
No,
Oh.
I don't need to do it while I'm hiking, but I've done it in the winter
Oh,
because
sure.
I don't have it, and it does take you off that rumination.
Sure.
I mean, it really does. So that's we hope we can give you some hints here to help
Right,
make your life
right.
a little less stressful.
I'm a little less stressed out now than compared to at the beginning of the video when I had to sit next to Bob, and now it's less stressful. I feel good.
How about this? Does that help decrease the stress again?
I'm just joking, Bob. Come on, give me a break.
All right. Thanks for watching.